and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to talk about one of the favorite spots in Hampton. Residents rank it high on every survey, Bluebird Gap Farm. My guest is the farm manager, Josh Froneberger. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, I'm great.
What is it about Bluebird Gap that people just get nostalgic, emotional? I mean, there's a real connection that most Hampton residents feel. I
think it's that piece of rural history you kind of get with Bluebird Gap Farm. It's a unique setting. It's in an urban environment, but you get that laid back urban feel. And I think when people come out there, the culture that we're trying to build there is just family oriented. Come out, have fun, relax, enjoy yourself.
That connection to the outdoors, that connection to the past and the way people lived when we grew our own food and raised our own animals. And but it's also, there's that nostalgic, you know, it's just a special place.
It really is, it really is. I may be biased because I work there, but I think it's one of the greatest city parks that I've been to. If you do a Google search for like farm-themed city parks throughout the country, Bluebird Gap Farm is one of a small handful.
Well, you know, it takes a lot of acreage. How big is it out there?
So Bluebird Gap Farm is 60 acres, 42 of which is terrestrial, and then we have...
Terrestrial, that means not underwater.
That's right, that's right. Part of our property butts up against Newmarket Creek.
Right.
And we have part of Newmarket Creek right now. As a matter of fact, we're actually working on a living shoreline project that is going to restore part of our shoreline. It's been eroded over the years. So we have a project, a pretty extensive project going on right now. We're going to backfill a lot of that area with sand. We're going to be planting about 2,000 aquatic and semi-aquatic plants. And we're going to be putting oysters along the front edge of it. So the oysters will end up repopulating, filtering out the water. The plants will do their part, and all of the sand and the plants and the oysters all combined will keep the erosion down, and it's going to be a big draw for people to come out and see and learn about how a living shoreline actually works. So
you go from the farm animals to the saltwater animals that used to be there, you know, back kind of all at the same time when Hampton was farmland. People also had oysters. They were a little more abundant, and they have that filtering ability. I mean, they are ecological, they are beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really interesting creatures and do a great job at what they do. And because Bluebird Gap Farm is a city park that has a farm theme, we do have the farm animals. We have everything that is involved with the agricultural side of it, but it is still a city park, so we have the natural side of it and the ecosystem function that we need to attend to and take care of and make sure that is working properly, and the things that we're doing as humans aren't encroaching on that. So. That's part of my title is taking care of the animals and taking care of the farm aspect, but also making sure that all of the natural resources that we have at that park are well tended to. So
that is a really cool aspect of it, and I think most of us think of the park as really only being that front area with the animals, because if you bring a toddler, that's kind of as far as you get most of the time.
Yeah, that's where the playground is, and that's where all the fun interactive animal stuff is.
The things you can see, right up front. So what is your favorite part of the park? Like if you have an extra few minutes and you're just going to go somewhere to sit and absorb nature or to watch the kids, where do you go?
I think it really depends on what mood I'm in on a particular day. So my education is in biology, so I really enjoy the natural aspect of it. I enjoy the natural resources. But my grandfather owned a farm, and I remember going there as a child. And there's just something about being around the larger livestock and tending to them and caring for them and watching them prosper, through your care that I really like. So every day I go out. I check on the animals. I make sure that everything is going okay with them, and it's I get a real sense of peace from that, from doing that and watching them prosper from day to day. But I still really enjoy the natural aspect. So Newmarket Creek is a really special place. There's a lot of interesting wildlife that's out there that is unique to tidal areas. So it's if I had to pick one favorite place. Maybe the duck pond. I really enjoy the duck pond.
That sounds great. So you guys get traffic, really, you know, I think of it as being a weekend place. I was a working mom, but actually I had playgroup, and I think I worked at nights for part of the time. We would come during the day, but you get daycares, you get school trips. I mean, you're busier than other parks during the week, I think.
Yes, Saturdays and Sundays throughout the year are our two busiest days out of the week. Fall and spring are our busiest times for field trips and things like that. There are definitely days when we will have 8, 10, maybe 12 buses from different areas of Hampton Roads that are coming out to enjoy our park. In 2015, or fiscal year 2015, our attendance at the park for the year was 253,000, which is up about 60,000 above average.
Wow.
You know, there's been a lot.
That fiscal year, we had a bad winter that year, so I know it was not good in the winter. So you must have been. What do you think that is?
The spring and fall were really hopping. We've done a lot of improvements to Bluebird Gap Farm.
If people haven't seen it recently, they need to go.
We have a new parking lot. Our old parking lot was 43 parking spaces, and then we had an overflow grassy area that we would park people in. That's been completely redone. We redid our front entrance. We now have 109 paved spaces.
And I've seen it full. I mean, it was full.
It definitely gets full.
Yeah.
We still have an overflow parking area that we can get 43 additional cars in. So so far through our bigger, like the Master Gardener's plant sale and some of our bigger activities that we've had, we really haven't had to turn anybody away, have them park over at the Coliseum or anything like that. So the parking lot has been a big hit, and I think that's helped to contribute to the attendance that we've had. We've done some major improvements inside the park also. We've redone our sidewalks, reconfigured the flow of the park a little bit. We took out all of the enclosures that were right when you used to walk through the front entrance. They were aged, and they had been repaired at various times, and they had served their purpose and lived out their life. And we got rid of all of that. We made an open grassy area that we can do interactive activities in. So I think all of those things combined, having an open field of the park now.
It does. When you walk in, it just feels bigger and
bigger and open and more inviting. Yeah, that's kind of the direction we're trying to go in with that.
And you see animals first instead of seeing enclosures.
Instead of seeing chain link and things like that. Yep, yep. That's really where we're trying to get, is for people to come into the park and just as soon as they walk through the gate, just have that. All right.
Yeah.
And I think so far we're on the right trajectory. We're still in a transition period. We still have a lot of great ideas and a lot of things that are up and coming. So we're really excited about where Bluebird Gap Farm is heading right now.
That's wonderful. Now, when you talk about educational or connecting people with nature, there's different levels. Like for toddlers, it's just kind of they get to see animals that are in the books.
First experiences.
You learn G is for goat. Look, here's a goat. But when you get into the grade school levels, there's a lot of animal and biology and things that tie into the standards of learning. Correct,
yes. Right now I'm trying to build out some SOLs, some standard of learning stations that educators, when they come and do field trips, they can go to these stations, and we will have it built out already that we'll talk to certain aspects of SOLs that they may be going through in any particular grade that they're in. So when the educators come out, they know, and they can present to their principal or to their superintendent, say, hey, I want to do a field trip to Bluebird Gap Farm. These are the things that they're going to allow me to hit on for SOLs. It's going to be a fun, interactive experience, and the students are going to get a lot out of it. So we're trying to build out those stations so that when people do come out, the field trips are a little bit more legitimate. We don't have the staff to go around and tell them everything that they may want to know. We can't answer every child's question. But if we can have those things built out so that when they do come here, it's all provided for them already, they'll have a much more interactive, wholesome experience.
Well, and we could, I'm just thinking as we start talking, but we could put some of that on your website too, so that parents or teachers, before they go, can have the prep materials, can review what it is, and then, print out and take those sheets with them.
Absolutely.
Or, as you said, you also were thinking about potentially having a sort of a guided tour on a smartphone that people would push a button or a QR code, and hear you guys do it. So, because you're right, there aren't enough people at a free city park to have rangers or historians or people at every station. So
yeah, so we're working on information systems upgrades right now. The IT department is getting fiber optic run to the park, and then after that, the plan after that is twofold. I would like to do a QR code video tour that has different stations set up. So if a patron chooses to, when they come to the farm, they want to learn more than just what the farm has to offer and what our signage has, they can use the smartphones. They can go around to numbered stations and get more information about the animals, the environment that they come from, where they flourish in the world. We have alpacas and llamas that are from South America. A lot of people don't know the difference between the two.
Right,
The llamas are traditionally pack animals, and the alpacas are traditionally fiber animals used for wool. Those are all things that I could put on a QR code tour, fun facts, things that people don't normally think about an animal, but are relevant facts would all be included in the QR code tour. The second part of the information systems upgrades would be providing a Wi-Fi hotspot. So if parents want to come, let their kids play on the playground, walk around and feed the animals, the parents can still take care of business that they need to take care of, or read books or whatever they want to do.
Or post to Facebook.
Post to Facebook, that's right. Let the rest of the world know where they're at. Which you can do now on your
plan, but yeah, if you had the Wi-Fi, it would be a little faster, a little cheaper. That's a great idea.
That's right.
Well, what other animals? Okay, now I think of alpacas and llamas not as traditional farm animals.
Correct.
In Hampton,
not in America.
In Virginia, they kind of are now. I mean, there are animals that we're raising in Virginia that aren't native necessarily to this area.
The fiber aspect is really big. So in America, alpacas are a little bit more popular than the llamas because their fiber is worth more. It's more of an economic gain.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful wool.
The llamas are great pack animals, but in America we don't really use pack animals all that much. So llamas tend to be more of a novelty type farm animal in America, more of a display type animal. But the llamas are actually being farmed in different, or the alpacas are being farmed in different areas.
So what other animals do you guys have? I know you've got cows, pigs.
We've got cows, pigs, horses,
and
goats.
Ponies are so accessible to little kids. Like horses, they're afraid of. It's this huge head and they're so tall. Yeah, but the ponies are great.
Yeah, right now we have a horse, a pony, a mini horse, and a donkey. Those are kind of like our representative equine species. We have a big thoroughbred, we have an Appaloosa pony, and then we have a mini horse. And the mini horse isn't really all that much bigger than like maybe a Labrador. A little bit more round, a little bit heavier, but about the same height. That's right. And then we have goats, we have sheep, we have a deer, turkeys, chickens, ducks and geese. We have birds of prey. We have a red-tailed hawk that we're training right now to do programs with. We're trying to get it glove trained.
Oh, that'd be fun. So you go into the schools or bring it out, or okay.
We have a pair of great horned owls that we're also trying to work with right now. Really, as far as American agriculture goes, we pretty much have
chickens. You have eggs, right?
We have chickens.
You can't give them to the public, but
we do have chickens.
Kids don't get that concept, that's where eggs come from. They don't get that French fries come from potatoes either, and they grow into the ground.
It's not even just kids. Most of us are so far removed from where our food comes from. We're so far removed from it. When we go to the meat section in the grocery store, we don't really realize that was a chicken, or that was a cow, or that was a pig. And when people come out to the farm and they see that, a lot of people don't realize how big a cow is, or how big a breeding sow is. They're much bigger than people think. Our breeding sow right now is over 500 pounds, and she stands close to 4 feet tall. And it just blows people's minds how big they are. But yeah, it's great to see children come out and go to the chicken coop and see the chickens. And when we're in there, we collect eggs and we can show them that we have eggs. And depending on what breed of chicken you are, you lay a different colored egg. And most people don't know that. They only see the white ones and the brown ones at the store. But we have a breed of chicken called an Americana that lays a blue-green egg. We have dark brown, we have light brown, we have white eggs, we have the blue-green eggs. And that's something it's always a thrill for me to be able to show that to children and watch their faces and watch them learning that for the first time. I get a lot of experiences like that throughout the day.
That's wonderful. And then your garden
really
is a
rewarding.
wonderful counterpart to that.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, people used to grow most of their own food. I mean, certainly my family did earlier, but it's a hard thing. And in urban areas, we have, like, you know, I can grow tomatoes and basil and some herbs. I don't have the full-scale garden, so most people don't get to see those plants.
That's right. The Virginia Master Gardeners do a fantastic job in the arboretum that's out there. The place is always immaculate. The plants are always, you know, they do a great job of having things bloom at different times throughout the year. So there's always seasonal interest out in the arboretum, and they do a fantastic job at the educational piece. They're always trying to educate the public on how to grow plants better, how to do things more organically, more environmentally friendly. So that, you know, it's really beneficial having the Master Gardeners out at the farm. You know, they do a fall and spring plant sale every year that are huge. You cannot beat those prices. I mean, they're selling some great plants at a real steal. So it's great having them out there, and they are a great counterpart to the livestock side of what the agricultural piece would be. They then have the more plant-based farming side of it. We're going to be trying in the spring to do actual growing, like display crops. Display corn, display cotton maybe, and maybe some other things that children that come in can pluck, like herbs and things like that, can pluck and actually feed to the animals without any danger.
That's neat.
So,
that sounds like fun. Okay, well, we'll be sure to come by and visit and keep up with what you're doing out there.
Awesome.
It's a great place.
I look forward to seeing everybody.
You'll see me, I know that.
Awesome.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching. I hope, especially if you have a child, you will visit Bluebird Gap. It's free. It's a wonderful place to go. You can also borrow a child, grandchild, neighbor, friend, and even if you're just adults, you can go out there. It's a wonderful place to take a walk, enjoy nature, relax a little bit, which we don't always get to do in our urban environment. Thanks for watching.